Greetings, fellow Waldorf families. My name is Elizabeth VanDeventer. I'm the mother of eighth grader Ali DiChiera. He's a charming, sometimes cheeky boy with the unruly brown curls, the big smile, and the shoelaces that can never seem to remain tied. Well, here we are at graduation, the most bittersweet and beautiful moment of the year, when the goals of Waldorf education are seen clearly manifested in the young men and women for whom it is time to leave the nest. The sadness for me is the realization that my time at this school has also come to an end. My one regret was not spending enough time here helping with school projects. Instead, my biggest contribution to the school was often simply just getting Ali there. My commute to Charlottesville in the morning to get Ali to school, then back to the farm in Nelson County to do farm work, and then back up to Charlottesville in the afternoon to pick him up and back home again, often meant 4 hours in the car per day. With this time commitment, I had to curtail many of my own goals for the sake of Ali going to Waldorf. The devotion it took to keep this up for 5 years now begs the question, was it worth it? To answer this question, I'd like to take you on our circular journey from Waldorf education through the public schools and back to Waldorf. Ali started out at the Rose Garden, a Waldorf preschool in Batesville, created by Sharifa Oppenheimer. There, in that magical pine forest, he experienced a classic Waldorf early childhood education. The slow rhythm of the day, the colorful festivals of the seasons, the sensuous smell and feel of kneading and baking bread, an untethered, imaginative play outdoors in sand, dirt, and water. Every day that I picked up Ali from the Rose Garden, he was beaming with a tired, full joy. Then we moved to Seattle, where Ali started kindergarten in the public schools. He now sat at a desk in a row and spent his time completing worksheets. Art and music were minimized as special activities. Instead, the focus was on academics. Everything else that might feed a child's imagination, that might feed their soul and their innate desire to learn, was minimized in order to meet state standards of early learning, which meant reading by the first grade. Ali quickly fell behind and was put in a remedial reading group. I'll never forget the shame on his face as he told me sadly one day that, quote, only dumb kids went into that reading group. Forcing academics before children were developmentally ready to me was like forcing walking before crawling, taking away the very foundation needed to succeed. And unlike the Rose Garden, time in nature was not part of the regular daily rhythm in this school. When it was, it took place inside a chain link fence on a metal and plastic playground, atop a cushioned rubber mat without so much as a speck of dirt or blade of grass. And so at the end of the day, parents wanting their children to release pent-up energy let them play on the playground. So one day after school, while Ali was in that playground and the parents stood around talking, I watched him suddenly run towards that chain link fence, climb over it, and dart off into the woods. Cool, I heard another little boy say. And before parents could stop them, children were clambering over that chain link fence and running off after Ali into the woods. Parents panicked, frantically trying to wrangle their kids back in. At first, I felt that I needed to call my renegade son back, but this fenced-in space was not a real playground to him. Instead, it was the forest that called to Ali's heart. So instead of yelling at Ali to come back, I called out, "Great idea, Ali, the woods is a perfect place to play." After that, all the kids and their parents gathered in the woods to play, and that became the new after-school playground, simply because one little boy could still hear the call of the wild in his heart. It is that call of the wild in all its manifestations that I wanted to keep alive in Ali. I wanted him to feel inquisitive and excited about learning and have the initiative to jump over every metaphorical chain link fence he encountered. When we decided to move back to Virginia, I knew that I could not take this lively little soul and put him back into that narrowly defined box of education in the public schools. I wasn't able to visit the Charlottesville Waldorf campus before enrolling Ali. I just trusted that a Waldorf education would allow him to flourish. Ali went from hating school to loving it. Instead of struggling to get through remedial reading, he began to love reading, and soon his bookshelves became too small for all the books he had read. Now he is reading beyond an 8th grade level, and he will enroll in honors class at Nelson County High School. His dream is to study physics at the Sorbonne in Paris. So was the 5 years of sacrifice worth it? The answer is a resounding yes. There are people that will tell you that a Waldorf education is not relevant in a digital technological world. And there are people that will tell you that art, music, woodworking, knitting, games, making forts in the woods, and learning to grow food is not relevant to academics. And you know what? They're wrong. Waldorf children become Renaissance adults who are not only prepared for the job market in a Cartesian world of linear thought beset with challenges, but who have the spark of aliveness, the creativity, and the ingenuity to transform it. So my deepest gratitude to all the dedicated teachers and staff here who work with very little compensation because they hold dearly this larger vision of nurturing a whole human being who can then go out and create a whole world. My deepest gratitude as well to my fellow parents for making the sacrifices to believe in the hope for the future that this school truly represents. For we can see that a Waldorf education is like a precious, rare tree seed that we need to keep alive into the future. So if any of you ever feel like you are not contributing to the world, I would say that gifting it with another Renaissance human being is the best contribution you can make. Blessings to all of you, and always feel free to come visit us at the farm. Thank you.